Hey there, I'm Ken, and you are watching my little slice of the internet that I like to call Canadian Retro Things. So here's how the story goes. The other day, I was watching the YouTube, and I came across a video by a creator that I follow. Now, that video was called Top 5 Gaming Systems, and it's by Generation Pixel. If you're not watching Generation Pixel, I think you should be, so I'll put a link to his channel down in the description. So his video was about his top 5 gaming systems. This includes computers in chronological order from his personal experience and opinion. Well, I decided I should do a little bit of a response video coming from this side of the pond. So I'm going to do my top 5 gaming systems, including computers, in chronological order, which just so happens to work out to be the order that I like them, from 5th to 1st. So let's get started. And coming in at number 5 on my list is the original Wii. Released in 2006, I have had this since it was new. And it's not on my list because I think it has incredible games, or by any stretch of the imagination, the best games out there. I put it on my list because when I first got it, it was a game that I actually got my parents interested in. They used to play with me. We would play Wii Sports, bowling, and things like that. We really enjoyed that, and I got my sister into playing it, and now my niece uses it. It's always hooked up upstairs, and she plays it now. And so it's been a multi-generational system of enjoyment in my family. Now, if I did have to pick some sort of a game that I played a lot and really enjoyed, I would have to probably say Resident Evil: The Umbrella Chronicles, along with the Wii Zapper, because, well, I just really like my Resident Evil games. I'm very much into survival horror games, so that is probably the best game I have owned for this system. All right, for number 4, we're going back to the year 2000. Now, I did not buy this system in the year 2000. I didn't get it until about late 2002, early 2003, but I am talking about the original fat PlayStation 2. And as I said, I have had this since 2002, 2003, and I have really enjoyed playing games on this. Now, it's on my list because it's the first system that I owned since the 1980s, the first system that I bought since the 1980s, and it is what really got me back into gaming. Now, for games that I really enjoyed playing on this, definitely the survival horror genre, the Resident Evil games, and I really, really enjoyed the Silent Hill games. Now, surprisingly enough, probably one of the games that I have played the most on this system is a World Series of Poker. I really liked playing the poker games on here. So, the PlayStation 2, it's what got me back into gaming in my adult life. Now, for number 3, we are going back to 1986 and the Apple IIgs. This is not my original Apple IIgs. I just picked this one up a couple of years ago. More on that later. Now, the reason that the Apple IIgs is on my list is because it is the system that I really got into RPG gaming on. There were the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons games. I had a bunch of those. There was Wizardry. There was Ultima games. I played those all of the time on the system. Many hours of playing those. As a matter of fact, the reason that I never bought anything between 1986 and when I got my PlayStation 2 was because of those games. I played them throughout the 90s. And then once I graduated college and was off to my first job, I foolishly decided I didn't want to haul this computer around with me anymore, so I sent it off to recycling. One of the biggest regrets of my life. But I've got this one now, and with the floppy emu, I can replay all of those RPG style games that I enjoyed so much on the Apple computer. All right, for number 2, we are going back to 1986. And this is the only system I did not own when I was younger or at any other point in my life until now. And I am talking about the Color Computer 3. Now, I did have a Color Computer 2 when I was a kid. And the Color Computer 3 is very compatible with the Color Computer 2, just way better. More memory, more abilities. It's an amazing little system. When I was a kid, on my Color Computer 2, I played a lot of text adventures, and I played a lot of Dungeons of Daggorath. And I do still play those on this machine, but I am constantly, it's so hard for me to pick a favorite game on this because there are so many, the back catalog is full of so many great games, but the modern stuff that is being made for this system, you've got Glenn Hewlett's Joust and Pac-Man and Defender, Sockmaster's Donkey Kong, arcade, accurate versions of the game on the Color Computer 3. It's so much fun, so amazing, and just a joy to play and collect for. And on top of that, a wonderful community. So I am really enjoying this system and everything that goes with it. And for number 1, we are going back to 1982. And we are looking at the ColecoVision. Now, this was the very first console gaming system that I ever owned. And it is currently the only system that I own that is permanently hooked up. This system sits here with this TV and is always hooked up, ready to go. If I want to play a game, I just have to flick the power switch and play. It's my only system that I have right now like that, which is one of the reasons that it is my number 1. And the other reason is the pure nostalgia of it. As it was my first system that I ever owned, there was a huge catalog of games that I had and enjoyed immensely. There's all the memories of my friends and I having gaming tournaments with it, and sleepovers where we stayed up all night playing the ColecoVision. And yeah, it just nostalgia, and the fact that it's my one gaming system that I do currently have hooked up so I can play it anytime, so I do play it a lot. Now, if I had to choose a favorite game for it, probably you're not going to be too surprised if you follow my older videos where I did a few ColecoVision videos. But my favorite game, probably even to this day, is Ladybug. I do like my Pac-Man style games, and Ladybug just puts a great twist on it, and I play it a lot on emulators, on my ColecoVision. I love it. So, number 1 is my ColecoVision with my number 1 game, Ladybug. All right, well, that is my top 5 video game systems, heavily influenced by my own nostalgia. So remember, my top 5 video game systems will be completely different from yours. But I would love to hear what you think of these systems down in the comments below, as well as what your top 5 systems would be. So just throw that in the comments. I'd love to see it. But I guess I hope you enjoyed this look at really a trip of nostalgia for me. So if you did, you know what you can do with the liking, the subscribing, and or the commenting below, because anything and everything you do is always greatly appreciated. And don't forget to check out Generation Pixel's channel if you haven't. I do recommend it. And yeah, now that I got those nostalgia juices flowing, I think I have a long night of gaming ahead of me. See you next time.